What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I want to go through my 3 aquariums and rank them. If you guys didn't know, or you're new to the channel, I've got 3 aquariums, one being this 30-gallon, soon to be SPS, but it's got a couple pieces of LPS in it right now. We also have my 6-gallon mangrove tank over here, and then we also have my 30-gallon softy tank here. This one is the oldest and most established, and it has the most coral in it. So let's go ahead and rank all 3. We're going to rank the tanks off of ease of care as well as how the tank actually looks and what's in it. So let's go ahead and start with the 30-gallon soon to be SPS tank. This is my newest setup. I've had it going for about maybe 3 months now, and it's really starting to go through its ugly stage. We've got diatoms all on the sand bed and the rocks, and there's some other algae going on in there. The corals aren't doing the best right now, but I did a water change yesterday, and they're starting to open up a little bit more than they were the past week. But this tank is probably at the bottom of the totem pole. Not that it's I don't not like this tank, but ranking out of the 3, this is probably the bottom. And that's just because it's the newest tank. So again, it's going through the ugly stage. It's really hard to manage the dinos right now. So we do a water change about once a week trying to regulate it, but I know it's just going to be one of those things of taking time and letting the tank mature before we start to see some progress. This tank is technically my higher tech aquarium. It's got a skimmer, an ATO, and a couple of gyre pumps in there. At least compared to my other tanks, this is the more tech aquarium. But aside from actual maintenance, it doesn't get more treatment than the others. I do a water change on this aquarium probably more frequently than the others, but in terms of actually maintaining it, it's about the same as the other tanks. There's nothing in it right now aside from a pair of clownfish, a cleanup crew, and the 2 LPS that I have. So there's really not much going on inside of this tank. And for how much work it is, I guess, in terms of trying to manage the dinos, it's not very rewarding because there's nothing in it. So this one's going to be going at the bottom. I still love this aquarium. I love the actual innovative marine tank, and I'm excited to see where this tank goes once we get it established and a little bit more mature. But for right now, it's going at the bottom just because it's pretty ugly. It does take a little bit more time to try and manage than the other aquariums, but we'll see how this tank looks in a few months. Now, coming in at number 2 is our mangrove tank. This one we've had set up for about 4 months. It's a little bit older than the 30-gallon next to it, but this tank is really, really easy. And the only reason it's coming in at number 2 and not number 1 is because there's really not that much going on inside of it. I post this tank a lot on TikTok, and a lot of people ask me why I don't put anything inside of it. I set this tank up mainly and really only for the mangroves, so I'm okay with how it looks and having nothing in it. I kind of intended for that to happen. I did think about putting some shrimp or, something else in there to liven it up a bit, but every time I try to put a hardscape in there, I end up just taking it out because I really like how simple the tank looks. Again, we set this tank up mainly for the mangroves and the mangrove success, so we've got a couple different things going on there to help them grow, and now that we kind of have that dialed in, the mangroves actually are starting to develop new leaves and new branches. So I'm really excited to see how these things grow over the next year or a couple years for however long we have them in this tank. But again, this thing is set up just for the trees. It is a little bit boring, so that's why it's at number 2. But in terms of maintenance, this thing is really easy. It's freshwater, so we just top it off with fresh water. It's got a simple hang-on back filter that we just change out the filter pad. And then we don't even do water changes on this thing. So we just top it off. We'll clean the glass about once a week and just sit back and enjoy it. Aside from adding anything else, if I were to put anything into this tank, I would probably just add more mangrove propagules. Once these 2 larger trees get big enough, and if we do have more propagules in there, I would like to set up a larger, more lagoon style tank, something that has a little bit less water in here, and again, just set it up mainly for the trees. So that leaves us at number 1 here, which is the 30-gallon softy tank, and this is by far my favorite aquarium just because it's got so much going on in it. It's a fully established and pretty much filled out aquarium. We have a pair of clownfish, a cleanup crew, a cleaner shrimp, and of course all these different softies in here, and everything for the most part does pretty well. It stays open consistently, and we don't have any algae problems or anything like that, no pests. We had a flatworm issue in this tank a few months ago, but we used flatworm exit and got that taken care of. But again, this is easily my favorite tank. It's also probably the easiest tank to take care of. We do a water change on this guy about every 2 weeks. Sometimes we'll even push it to once a month, and then we'll clean the glass once a week. So it's really easy to keep this thing clean. Even when we clean the glass once a week, it's really not that much. It takes us maybe 5 minutes, and then we'll dose it with a 3-part solution. And yeah, equipment wise, we do have an ATO on it, even though doing manual top off on this tank is not too bad, but it's pretty minimal equipment. We have one power head on the right side there with the single NICRU light above. And other than that, I love this thing. We do want to add 1, maybe 2 more pieces of coral in here. I have a little bit of space on the right side that I'd like to fill out. But other than that, the toadstools, the green star polyps, and especially the Cinularias grow like weeds. So I really like to see this thing filled out. At some point we will have to upgrade this tank and put all of these softies in a larger aquarium to let them grow even bigger, but for now I like the filled out look, and you know, all the different color Cinularias in there, as well as our big large toadstools are starting to fill out. This guy here in the front really touched the glass, so we will have to figure out a plan for these corals, but for right now I think it looks pretty good. So those are my 3 aquariums. The one I'm really focusing on right now is the SPS tank. Once this gets a little bit more established and we get the dino issue down, I'm going to start adding some SPS to this tank, as well as some other LPS corals. So if you guys have any suggestions on what we should add to this tank, let me know in the comments down below, and let me know what your favorite tank is of my 3, or let me know what tank you guys have in the comments down below, and if you have multiple tanks, how do you guys like managing all 3 aquariums, and which one is your favorite? But with all that being said, I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.